So film number one on our film studies journey is Alfred Hitchcock's 1958 thriller Vertigo, a film that, until it was toppled in 2022, was hailed by no less than Sight and Sound magazine as the greatest film of all time. I just want to give you a quick overview of some aspects of the film to look out for as you begin your viewing. So the first thing to know is where this film sits in terms of the exam. This will be question one on component one of your exam when you eventually sit it. And this will be the only question that requires you to directly compare two films. In our case, the companion film will be Arthur Penn's Bonnie and Clyde. These films represent two eras of film history, the classical Hollywood period and the new Hollywood movement that succeeded it. So what does that mean? Well, classical Hollywood was based largely around the studio system of production, which tended to offer less creative freedom to individual directors. New Hollywood, on the other hand, saw a decline in power of the studios and a consequent rise in freedom for directors. We'll learn a lot more about this down the line, but suffice to say that Hitchcock was something of an outlier in the largely restrictive world of the studio system. You could say a new Hollywood director in an old Hollywood world. And as you can see, these are the core study areas for the course, and these are the areas that we need to know in depth. Of most importance here is a focus on context, both in terms of how the films reflect the changing nature of the film industry, but also the way they hold up a mirror to a changing society, from the dying days of the 50s with Vertigo to the emerging counterculture that Bonnie and Clyde was born into. And obviously, we don't talk about film without talking about film form. And a focus on cinematography, mise-en-scène, editing, sound and performance will be at the heart of everything we have to say about the film. And so, before we hit play and lose ourselves on the winding streets of San Francisco, a look at the credits, ripped straight from Wikipedia. Note that, although Hitchcock was both director and producer, he didn't write the film, and it was an adaptation of French novel D'Entre les Morts. Other names to note: Saul Bass, designer of the poster and the opening credit sequence. The stars: James Stewart, one of Hollywood's great leading men and a regular in Hitchcock films, and Kim Novak, another Hollywood icon. Then there is Bernard Herrmann, soundtrack guru, the man whose strings slash away during the Psycho shower scene. Finally, note that the film was distributed by Paramount, one of the big five studios who dominated the film industry at this point. In other words, Hitchcock is the man who gets most of the attention, but film, as we will learn, is a collaborative process. So, are you ready? Let's Vertigo. Sorry.